right, this is a box of mystery. It might look like an ordinary shoebox, but inside are the contents of my haul from the an estate sale that was billed as a picker's paradise. So, without further ado, let's see what's in the box. Here is the contents of one said mystery box. One buckaroo cap. Does it appear? It could be 80s, 90s, but I just like the thought. I'm always on the lookout for Buckaroo Banzai, the DVD. It is an awesome DVD. Bolo, and reminded me of that, so that's why I grabbed it. Next, the Grandpa hats. So the DeSoto Club of America patch. Now this is obviously a vintage snapback, you know, the trucker style, but dug this patch here. So this hat is beat up and ratty and whatnot, but dig the patch. So a lot of times I will take this patch because it's obviously going to be a rare patch. So we'll see if there's any interest in the hat. Probably put it out there describing all of the flaws. Yeah, this thing's really beat. Ugh. Yeah, probably just go with the patch on this. Next, love this category, Fanny Pack. And this is a Bears Fanny Pack from WGN. I'm not quite sure on the date. I believe this is from the 90s, but anyways, love Fanny Packs. They still sell, and especially a vintage. This one's not the best, though, because it's that kind of vinyl cheapo. But if you're a fan, you know, you're going to the game, hey, accessorize. Next, I'm not going to do any talking on this. I'm going to let this do the talking for me. Can you see the year there? 1980. So in the 80s, if you were from the 80s like myself, I remember going to these. You would have a birthday party at McDonald's. So in my particular McDonald's, which is the same town as old Craigslist Hunter has his shop, Crystal Lake, you would go to the back, and they had this special little room, and you would go in there, and you would either order a hamburger or a cheeseburger, and I remember also eating my first McNugget at this particular McDonald's on Route 14. But you'd also get this hat. So they'd give this to you, and it just folds here, because back then all the employees would wear like these little paper hats. And there we go. Ta-da! Look at that. You would put this on, and then, you know, you'd eat your McDonald's and you would sing happy birthday. And that was a popular birthday destination for kids back then. And that was it. This was the hat. So this, I think, is an awesome find. I can't believe this is in the bottom of a box. And when I grabbed it, I knew it was just the coolest thing ever, because I haven't seen one probably since I was 5 or 6 years old. So that's it. I haven't found any others out there. So this is a piece of ephemera, something that survived that shouldn't have. And let's see what we can get for it. All right, next. These are getting harder to find. I don't know if like the thrift stores themselves are grabbing them and packaging them. I suspect they are. I haven't seen out in the wild. I've recently, just within the last 6 months, I've gotten one Screen Star shirt, which those are typically from the 80s and beyond. The Screen Star's best is when it was changing over to Believe Hanes, so this is a 90s shirt. But even these are getting harder to find. And I just grabbed it because of that. Nothing more, because it is beat up. And the subject isn't that great. Portrait of a golfer. But just the fact that even the Screen Star best are starting to get harder to find in the wild. Like, I don't care if this sits in my pot. You know, I'll put this in Poshmark or some store that doesn't charge an insane listing fee. And let it sit forever, because every year that's just going to get harder and harder. All right, now this I bought. Don't judge, but in the 70s, my parents had these. So, all right, what you do is once you put it in ice, Our young man here's pants and shirt will disappear. I remember these, and I don't know if it's worth any money. This novelty glass, and I remember these distinctly. My dad had a set with women on them, and I was not allowed to go near them. But anyways, that's what it is. Very interesting. So you throw in ice or cold drink, and poof, you got a, I don't know, you got a someone with no clothes. Interesting. This does require some research. I don't know. It was just a total gut check on that one. All right, and here was a big box of toys and 80s toys. Look at this. Found G.I. Joe loose. Who is that? Like some sort of Crimson Guard or something like that. Who else did we find? Oh, we found, oh gosh, Zoltar maybe? I don't know. But I think he turns, I don't know if this is the one. One of them turned colors in the, ooh, I wonder what's wrong there. But one of them turned colors because he was like a color changing guy. And I think I got, oh yeah, look at that. Sergeant Slaughter. So I found these three. Now this was I couldn't believe this when I found them because she only had them at 50 cents a piece. So there's old Sergeant Slaughter. So I was really, really happy to see these guys. And these are the first guys I saw and grabbed. Especially old Sergeant Slaughter. That's an amazing guy. So, really, really brings back my childhood since when you got home from school in Chicago, I don't know if this was everywhere, but Channel 9, we'd have G.I. Joe and Transformers on, like, back to back. And that was like, you knew you were home from school when you got to watch G.I. Joe and Transformers. So we'll check out these. I don't know about loose figures. I do know, keep your eye out, anything in the package, G.I. Joe. I was at a local auction. This is probably a year ago now. But they were cleaning out a toy store that had a bunch of G.I. Joe and it's still in like on the card and in the box and all that stuff. And it was going for just insane money. So then the guy who kind of cleaned up at the auction was out of town kind of guy. I figured out what store he was at and have been following him ever since. It's amazing the money you can get on 80s toys right now. It's very, very lucrative. So keep your eyes peeled. Next, the Lions. These were a little show called Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Again, another 80s show. And there were 5 lions. And they formed together to form this guy named Voltron, who was this big robot. And it was driven by these people. And I'm missing one. So I don't know his name. He drove the blue. I think this guy's name was Hulk. Let's see. Oh, yes. Hulk. Princess Elena? I'll have to look on that one. Oh, no. And here was the bad guy. And his head just fell off. Unreal. So, whoa, this is a bust. But yeah, really cool finding these 2 Voltron lions and 4 of the figures. And it's actually 5 of the figures because I grabbed this just on a hunch. And I believe this is what they call the Mega Beast. So this is the bad guy with no head would send these robots out to destroy humanity, and these Robeasts would be the guys, and then our good guys would drive the lions and form Voltron and save the day. But another very niche 80s toy, Voltron. I knew what I was looking at as I grabbed them because I was familiar with the cartoon. And this guy, I had no idea. Now, I wonder if this guy is a core guy. He's a little bit bigger than G.I. Joe. I'll just grabbed him because he had the same kind of articulation as G.I. Joe. Not familiar with him. Maybe it is a Joe guy, but I've never seen him before. So I will be investigating him. Might be nothing. But there was this a separate, like, kind of, I don't know, a separate kind of line called Core, which were not as cool as G.I. Joe's, but this next was from that 70s show called Battlestar Galactica, which was remade. So they had this dog, and I was out in the garage, and they just had boxes of Christmas and other junk. And the same box I got my McDonald's hat, I found him sitting like right next to the McDonald's hat. So I believe this is the dog from Battlestar Galactica. Maybe I'm wrong, because Battlestar Galactica was a little too old for me, because I wasn't really have any memories starting until like the 80s. So I believe that's what this is, and we'll take a look at him. I think that could be a decent little find. And this, if you're from the 80s, this guy's named Spike. He is the gremlin he's like the leader of the gremlins. That, you know, they're not Ewok. Oh, I can't think of their names. Mogwai, that's what it was. So these Mogwais, in the story, the Mogwais are these cute little guys. And once you get water, no, that's right. You don't get water on them, and you don't feed them after midnight. Well, in the story, the Mogwais get fed, and they turn into a gremlin. And then they cause mischief, right? When they're gremlins, they're not as cute. They're out causing problems. And then when you get water on him, he like multiplies, right? So the Mogwais, and I think, yeah, that's how it goes. Mogwais, they get water, they multiply. If they get fed after midnight, they turn to gremlins. And so this was the first guy. This was Spike, and he apparently, not a huge score. I just grabbed him because I liked him. I don't know if he'll sit on my little collectible toy bin. He's kind of like a vinyl guy, but it looked similar ones were going for like 12. This is all kind of bread and butter stuff. Nothing to write home about. This Star Wars, it would be from period though, Return of the Jedi, and this is an Ewok, and it's just a rubber figure. It's nothing more, and is it Ewok, and I am not thinking of his name. I don't know if his name's Cricket. I don't know. I'm not even gonna. I don't know. But I thought it was cool. It is vintage. It has nothing to do with the new Disney stuff, which, blah. If you're buying that Disney stuff, give you props, because I won't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole. I know this market's flooded, but again, a little nostalgia. Maybe, turn that 50 cents into 10. Let's hope. Next. I don't think this is anything, but I always look through the old lady glasses. I just like the rim-horned appearance. I don't think it's gold-filled or anything like that. But I don't know. I need to get a magnifying glass for the bridge of the nose there. I can't really tell. Just have that vintage feel. They're definitely vintage. It's kind of this Bakelite, lucite kind of feel. But very, I think, iconic with the rim horn, I believe they call that. But so I'll sell this just as for the frames. I have no idea what they might be in there. And last, I have no idea, but I thought it would be fun to color. If it doesn't sell, I'll color it. But I got it because it's the owls. And again, it was a quarter. I have no idea. But that was it for the mystery box. Episode 1. Thanks for stopping by. And let's put this back into the box. So I'll be hopefully listing this on eBay. Probably eBay. Gosh, I just keep hoping and wishing and praying that someone like Poshmark decides to get into the collectible end of things and stop just concentrating on clothes. But until then, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next episode.